Thank you very much once again, Palesa. Earlier we spoke to a number of people really who are stalwarts of the ANC who have attended the memorial service of Baba Mendi Msimang. Here also are us also veterans of the ANC, and interestingly of the family is Mavuso Msimang. So he's very well known, and I'm not going to talk about his latest issues with other parties. But of course, I know you are here to bid farewell to one of your own, and then you made a very moving speech.
The memorial was truly a very moving service, a moving farewell to a person who is recognized by everybody who knew him to have been a humble person, laid back, but really committed to the struggle throughout his existence. He was born into the struggle, literally not even finishing his studies, because at the time, the mood was, we've got to get our freedom now. He worked in the Mandela and Tambo office, lawyer's office, and there was Mr. Sisulu there. So he was immersed into issues of struggle, particularly the African National Congress. The early 50s, in fact, the whole decade of the 50s was also full of activities, you know, the Defiance Campaign, the treason trial, the Women's March on Pretoria. He features in some quiet way, as only he would do, in all of these movements. So when the ANC is banned, and one of the first persons that is asked to go abroad to establish an external mission is Mendi, who assisted Oliver Tambo. And from then on, his entire life is in exile in the ANC, looking at education matters, representing the ANC in different countries. India became a very big supporter of the ANC. I would not attribute it to him solely, but India was the mover of most of the motions at the United Nations resolutions to expel South Africa, to enforce the boycott of goods, of the economic boycott and so on. Mendi then goes to London, and for the time he was in exile, continues to ask the countries of the world, not to trade with South Africa, not to do sports with South, not to do culture with South Africa. But no sooner is 1994 on with us than he's deployed back to London, where he now begs them to come and trade with South Africa because there is a free South Africa, a democratic one.
Absolutely, an illustrious career politically. But he also was a family man. You can attest to that as Msimang yourself.
Oh, absolutely. He became the father figure of a whole group of the Msimangs. They are found in Gauteng, they are found in KZN, and even in the Eastern Cape. There are Msimangs who looked to him almost like the godfather, if you will accept that. And a very cool person, very even-tempered, always ready to advise when this is required. I don't remember seeing him flare up, but when there were disputes, everybody thinks there is Uncle Mendi who might be able to do something for us. As a family man who was highly respected, he comes from a family of struggle people. We are represented by the Msimangs, who were at the very foundation of the ANC in 1912. That is why we will not allow people to mess around with this organization, if you'll allow me to tell you that, because we're born into it. And it is absolutely important that its values, which were handed down to the Mandelas, the Sisulus, and all of those, must be maintained. But I would like to come back to today's ceremony. You all were present and listened to a very, very moving tribute from the minister. She spoke from the heart. She knew him intimately. And it really was a true, well-presented goodbye to a good man.
Mr. Msimang, whilst we're here, we also received the news that one of the people really that was very important in the architecture of our democracy, Alex Borain, also passed away. Your reaction?
Very, very sad passing on of a person who contributed a great deal, having fought the battles from the other side, you know, white person, was in the institutions of this country. And once the struggle for liberation hotted up, I was in exile, so I didn't know him that much. But I do recall that he worked very, very closely in building the constitution of this country, also in the CODESA discussions. It's a great loss to a very good man.
Thank you very much, Baba Msimang.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was Baba Mavuso Msimang there, an ANC veteran, really giving us his reflections on Baba Mendi Msimang, of course, his family, and also paying his tribute to the late Dr. Alex Borain Balisa.
All right, many thanks there to our reporter Mzwandile Mbeja, reporting live from Pretoria.